Welcome back. Today we're going to share a couple of mentor texts that you can use to get kids to start thinking about writing about their hobbies and their special interests, things that they like to learn about. Any book that you pull off the shelf that has a character that is involved in some sort of hobby or some special interest would work as a mentor text for this. But what I find is that if I go ahead and read a story about a character who, let's say, likes to garden, then all of the kids over the course of this writer's workshop are all going to write stories about gardening instead of things that are important to them. So it's important to try and choose a book that might have an array of different hobbies or specialties before you get the kids brainstorming or generating ideas about their own personal hobbies and special interests. Okay, so this example is probably a third grade and up example, but definitely one of my favorites. One, because it's Jon Scieszka. Two, because it really is a perfect personal narrative. It's a memoir, but when we're teaching personal narrative to our students, this is a great place to start. And it's split up into different chapters, so you can read a different chapter a day or a different chapter a week to the students and really give them a feel for really strong writing in a personal narrative. As far as hobbies and interests go, I always read chapter 21, which is over lessons. And what he's talking about in this is that his mom all of a sudden got the idea that him and his 5 brothers all needed to develop a talent or take lessons in something. And so he got voluntold to play the piano. And he played for the first 2 weeks, and while he enjoyed it for the first 2 weeks, summer all of a sudden rolled around, and he thought about all the other things that he wanted to be doing, all the games that he wanted to be playing outside with his friends, and everything other than playing the piano, and so he used to make excuses and not go in. He also talks about lessons he took in French. He also talks about lessons he took in bowling, and then he talks about the different unstructured games that they like to play when they were outside and playing. So it goes through. The reason why I like to use this one is for that reason about if I read a book on gardening, then they all want to tell me a story about gardening. But if I read this, it talks about all different things. It has music and games and recess and structure and language class and all different types of hobbies and interests that he had. So we list out his after we finish reading, and then we start talking about possibly some of our interests or some of our lessons and things we enjoy to do. And yes, the kids will definitely share the things that they don't like to do as well, but that's okay. We want to make sure that we have a list of their hobbies. After reading the book aloud, I do a little pre-write with the students where I model for them in front of the class, tracing my hand. And then on each finger, I go ahead and I write different hobbies that I enjoy or my special interests, and I model for them my own. Then I have them do theirs as well in their own writing journal. I try and make sure that mine are completely different from Jon Scieszka's ideas in his book, so we have a list of his ideas and a list of my ideas. It just helps the students really grow their own bank of different special interests and ideas that they have of things that are important to them. On a separate day, I'm going to go ahead and show them how to flesh some of these ideas out. Because yes, I like and I enjoy riding roller coasters, but I need to really concentrate and narrow my focus if I were to write a story about this. So I might write about the time that my middle son Cole absolutely refused to go on the roller coaster. He was scared to death. And so we bribed him. We gave him $5 to get on the roller coaster, and he finally agreed just so that he could get the $5. And as we were going up the first hill, the roller coaster stopped mid-height, and it was not starting back up. We sat in the heat for the longest amount of time, and then we had to get out and walk down. He absolutely refused to get on a roller coaster after that. So this is a story that I might illustrate for the class as one story I can write about roller coasters. But I can also share other stories about the time that my son Jack asked me, not sure what the right answer there is, but somehow I wound up on a roller coaster with him that didn't have a floor, and so my feet were dangling, and I remember screaming the whole entire way and wondering why I let him convince me to go on there. So there's another story. So we want to make sure that they understand how to flesh out their ideas after they list them on their hands.